Hey there, West Dove here with Dove Development Consulting. We're going to continue down the path of looking at the importance of values in every organization. You've got the textbook example. It kind of set the foundation for where we're going. Not so long ago, we talked about what it can really cost us in an organization where when there's a lack of clear values in place. We've looked at how it can go really wrong. And I gave you more or less a case study for an organization that had values listed, but my goodness, they sure didn't follow them. Or at least if they did, they didn't follow them in the way that most folks would have thought they were followed. What we're going to do now is we're going to look at why so many organizations may have values listed, but they just miss the mark. They don't connect with them. So what I want to challenge you to think about is, are we ever really covering the values at all? And I'm sharing some stories. If you'll dig into this, whether it's on our webpage or wherever you might be accessing it, I want you to think about, how are you covering the values of your organization? And what are you really covering with folks? Is it really the values? Do they understand? And even if you are initially when they're coming in, and I'll share some stuff about, well, gosh, I did orientation for probably thousands of people over the last 25 years or so. Are you really covering the values, and what's covered from there on? What's covered often? Who's covering it? What's the frequency? Do they understand what? And I share some scenarios of, gosh, I knew about productivity. I knew what I was expected to do. I knew about how I needed to operate equipment. I knew how to set up and change over equipment, how to troubleshoot, and all these different things. But I didn't often hear about values. And think about who in the organization may or may not be ever talking about those values, even if it seems like they're connecting there. The other thing is, gosh, is there a clear understanding? When I worked in manufacturing, when I worked in construction, when I worked in different industries, I had a clear understanding of, this is how I did the job. This is what the risks were. This is how I avoided those risks. These are some of the rules, the requirements, the regulations. Here's where I'm supposed to show up each day. Here's the time I've got to clock in. But I didn't often, if I ever heard the values, even the words, or sometimes maybe definitions, but not frequently, I didn't have clarity around what did they really mean. And I give you a scenario, if you'll dig into this, about, gosh, if we're left to figure it out on our own, if there's ambiguity in the process, I'm going to make up my own definition to what I think it needs to be. And that kind of ties back to that story I shared before about the example of when it goes really wrong. But gosh, don't people do that all the time? And what we're going to do moving forward is really dig into, how can we eliminate that ambiguity when it comes to the values in our business. Now, if you've never accessed it before, I want to challenge you, wherever you're hearing this, wherever you're seeing this, I would challenge you to access the link that gives you a chance to walk through a quick assessment on what's killing the profitability in your organization. I promise you, it boils down to leadership. But what that quick assessment does is kind of segments, where are you, what are the issues you're dealing with, and what's the best right now fix that we can offer you. Maybe it's a shot in the arm. Maybe it's a quick complimentary webinar we put together. Maybe it's a low-cost digital course that you can get massive value from. But maybe we need to have a one-on-one conversation to really tailor something that meets your specific needs, whether it's for you or the team you lead. Hope this serves you well. Make it a great day. God bless.